For those who support Jubilee and those who are members of Jubilee, if you want your party to survive beyond the last election, please kick out Uhuru Kenyatta from its leadership.
Yes, guys, welcome to Primetime Analysis. A story is told in the holy books of a judge named Jephthah. And this judge was born of a mother who was known to be a prostitute. This judge, God gave him power and knowledge on how to handle enemies of the Israelites. Now, at one point, it reached when he was supposed to go for war against the Ammonites. And before he left home, he saw that if God will lead him to succeed against the Ammonites, then the first thing that he will meet, he will offer it to God when he comes back. Now he went and won. And then when the time for coming back reached, the first person that he saw was the daughter. And he was forced to sacrifice the daughter because he had made a vow with the Almighty. Central Kenya remains a very important region in this country, especially when it comes to politics. But one thing that people from Central have done is that they have given their daughter and sacrificed their daughter to the gods to an extent that they do not have anyone who can speak for them when they are not in a good place. Now, this story began in 2013 at the coming together between President Uhuru Kenyatta and the then Deputy President William Ruto. They got into an agreement, and this political agreement was meant that one person was to do the first term and Deputy President was to do another 10-year term. In this promise, it meant that whoever stood on the way of this vow coming into fruition had to be sacrificed. And this is how people from Central sacrificed their strong men and women. If you look at the political landscape right now, you are left to wonder where this community is headed. Because the most senior person in that region is Rigathi Gachagua. And as many of you can attest, he is lacking in many aspects of leadership. The next person who is most senior is Kimani Ichung'wah, who is the majority leader in the National Assembly. But when you look at him again, you realize that he lacks political experience that can lead a community and can fight for a community. The one who follows him closely is Moses Kuria or Ndindi Nyoro. Just as Jephthah sacrificed his daughter to the gods because of the vow he had made, Central Kenya has sacrificed its sons and daughters because of the vow that was made between Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto. And this sacrifice has meant that critical players in Mount Kenya politics with serious political acumen like William Kabogo, Mutai Kagwe, Kembi Gitura, Peter Munya, among others, have been sidelined. But those with political inexperience, like Kimani Ichung'wah, Ndindi Nyoro, and Rigathi Gachagua, are left to claim political leadership of the region. I must say that looking at these people, it only means that Central Kenya lacks serious political leadership. And this is why, even as parastatal appointments are skewed towards Kalenjins, there is largely no one who can stand and protest and claim what is rightfully theirs. You remember in the past regime, William Ruto ensured that community interests were obeyed. He stood there for his community, and everything and every appointment that was supposed to be made, he ensured that at least people from his region received a fair share. When you look at Rigathi Gachagua, we remember he said that because President Ruto was a godly man, they did not need to have an agreement with him. They only needed to give him votes and believe in his magnanimity and his word and trust that he will meet all that he said. However, it is turning out that Mount Kenya remains sidelined, and there is no one who can speak up for this region. If you look at Rigathi Gachagua, his body language speaks loudest. He is a depressed man. He is a man who is sad because he's been left to chase shadows. He is fighting ghosts of Uhuru Kenyatta. He is assigned a task that while he played well, he is playing it past its due date. Who will stand and save Mount Kenya? William Ruto has seen that the only viable political tool that Mount Kenya has right now is the Jubilee Party. And to ensure that he gets a full grab of this region, he has waged a very serious war towards the Jubilee Party. He knows that if President Uhuru Kenyatta and the Jubilee Party stand against him in 2027, he will not have a chance. And this is why any political party from that region is to be dead from the onset, at least until after 2027. Moses Kuria had his party, it was killed. Kabogo is also struggling to survive, but he is muted. Mwangi Kiunjuri has his party, but he is being warned each and every time against rebellion. And therefore, Mount Kenya has remained without anybody to speak for it. And that is why you saw people like Gathoni wa Mushomba trying to speak up and saying that I cannot be gagged. What does that tell you? And if you listen to the tone of President in the Thanksgiving of Soipan Tuya, CS for Environment, it would only tell you that President has opted to be a dictator in some sort. He micromanages everything, and he wants only his opinion and his way to be the only way. One thing that you must know is that the only girl that you have right now is Jubilee Party and Uhuru Kenyatta. While in the past you were cheated that he was against you, you right now have seen with your own eyes who is against you. And therefore my word to you is that fight to ensure that Jubilee Party does not die. Fight to ensure that Uhuru Kenyatta remains relevant. Because looking at everybody who is around, it is only Uhuru Kenyatta who has the financial muscle. And if assisted by Raila Odinga, he might use the strength and brevity to fight and remove you out of the chain that you've been tied to. William Ruto knew that central Kenya is made up of people who are highly religious, and therefore he invested heavily in the church. And so, if you think you are going to get anything from the church, it won't save you from him. The only person who will save you from him is your conscience and your belief that your right must be obeyed and respected. Do not let anybody continue lying to you that Uhuru Kenyatta is the bad person here. Remember, they also have Gideon Moi. No member of parliament from Rift Valley has raised a hand against Gideon Moi. In fact, Gideon Moi has a tender of power production. He is working with the government. He is secretly protected. But when it comes to your son, he has kept your region constantly in politics. His region is cool and silent. Throughout this period of debate on finance bill, you've not had anybody from that region defending that bill. But those who have been defending this bill largely are people from Central, are MPs from Central. Be very watchful. Because if you are not careful, history will repeat itself. And people always say that history never lies because it always repeats itself. That's my parting shot. Those who have watched till the end, take 1 minute or two to subscribe to our channel and like by giving this video a thumbs up. Thank you very much. May God bless you.